Hello, everyone. I'm Huidong, come from Michigan University, and my PhD project mostly focuses on the reading and event segmentation. First, let's talk about what's event segmentation. When perceive the continuous information from the environment, and in our perception, one can separate those information into different events, and this process called event segmentation. So for example, if you read this text, how would you segment it? So maybe someone will segment on the narrative level, like here, the different things happened, or the different time, location, and also one will segment the text into different words, paragraph, or the sentences like this from the linguistic features. So when in our brain, one can separate those continuous information into different parts. So how it works in our brain? Patterson and his colleague using the movie and found that in our brain regions, the neural event can be segmented into different level. For example, at the layer at a low visual level or the auditory level, the events will be more short, and there are many events happening on this region. And in the high level region, the events will be more larger, and also those events are related to the human segmentation, and those neural events can be stored in our memory system, and those information also can influence our ongoing event segmentation. Most importantly, they find the different time scale in our brain for the neural event representation. So how it works in our brain? Because most studies using movie or story listening is too different with our reading. And someone found that if they have a boundary happened, one will have increased reading time. Our reading network involved many regions and also processed many information from the materials. Like for the dorsal brain, they are most process the phonological information, but in the ventral stream, most access the meaning of the words. So one just wonder, can we find some event structure in our reading network? So in our first study, one just using existing fMRI data to check how our reading network segments and present those neural events. And here one just, when using the hypothesis story, and this story are present word by word. So the participants will read the words using the same reading time. And at the same time, we want to check another group how they segment this story, and ask them to segment the text according to the changes from the topic, location, time, and other things. And when using GPT, do the same thing again. And then we want to compare those three different data to check how the neural events present in our brain and the relationship between those. And here we defined 6 regions from the reading network. And then when using the heat map model to predict the latent brain state for the neural representation. And we found that at the angle jaws, we found a very short event, and with the number on the 67. But in the front area, the events are more longer, and only few events in the front area. So it's meaning one confirms the previous study that our brain segmenting the information into different parts, and also have a hierarchical structure across the regions. And then we found that those event structures also related to the human segmentation and also the GPT. So it's meaning our reading network may be involved in many different event segmentation that might reflect different levels of the cognitive processing. And here just a summary about this. And one wonder maybe the different pathway in the reading network reflects a different level of the event repetition. So So we also conduct other studies to answer this question. And later, because reading is complex processing, it's require higher top-down processing. So we wonder how those top-down processing influence event segmentation and representation. And in the daily life, one doesn't read the word one by one with the same time. So we extend the SVP paradigm to the natural reading. And in the same time, it's required you need to have a specific time about which word we read. So when using the eye tracker and the EEG to recording the behavior and brain activity and talking about how the top-down influence has the effect on the evidence meditation. And one of our ongoing study is focused on the semantic knowledge. One wonder because when we read something, we will have the title like a newspaper or our research paper, and then one can create some concept and also evoke our background of this topic. It will improve our processing for the coming content. So here one set two conditions. First, when ask 30 participants read the text with the title and others without the title, when replace the letters with X, so it keeps the linguistic structure and visual layout. And then from here is a heat map from the iMom data. We found that for the materials without the title, the participant will show more longer reading time. And one such one is also can reflect on our EEG data. According to the previous study, for the word processing, we will have different components that reflect the different level of the language processing, like N1 might reflect the orthography processing, and the later states, N400p 600 reflects the high-level semantic or the syntactic processing. So one expects if the participants read the text with title, they will improve their reading promise and decrease those components. So here one just simply extract the fixation-related potentials to check the results. First, from one checks the occipital and parietal area, and one have the very clear P1 components, and in the without title condition, one found that have the increased power. And later, in the frontal and the central area, we found at the later states, they also have the enhanced brain activity. But one didn't find the very typical ERPs in our task. So one wonder maybe it's because one only focus on a single channel. So one just separate the EEG into different areas and include the frontal, central, and left occipital temporal. But one still didn't find the later state components, but they also have some difference during this period. So when I got in trouble because one didn't find the components. So why it happened? Because in the natural reading, when read one word and have a fixation, and then when we move to another word, it's meaning when involved many processing, not only for reading. Also, here for one word reading, the processing time will extend from the 100 to 6, even 8 milliseconds. But in the natural reading, those components will overlap together. And also because the second, they also have a mental processing involved. And actually, they also have a third processing. It's about the previewing. I didn't mention it here. It's like when you focus on one word, you also can feel or have a low processing for the coming word. So for now, when using some models to separate those components and find the later component for the P600 or the N400 components. And recently, all of Domingo, they propose linear and nonlinear models to separate. So in our for next step, we are going using the model to separate the components. Okay, that's all. First, thanks for your RADET team, and also thanks for your attention.
Questions?
Hi, thank you for your talk. Could you explain how the model, I think it was the hidden Markov model, does event segmentation, like event boundary detection? Is it learning it statistically or?
Yeah, okay. Sorry. Here, first I want to explain how it works. Here I just have an example, and one has different weathers and also people's feeling about this. At most time, one will feel very happy if it's a good weather, so one can predict the latent weather from the people's face, so they have a probability between those things. And those weather also can change from one to another one, so they will create a sequence for the events. And then one also can observe the people's face, also have a sequence of this. So it means they correspond with each other. It's when using hidden Markov model can observe the latent state from the observed signal. So in our data sets, one can using the body signal to predict latent neural state. And then here I have a question, because we don't know how many events in our story. So one just, sorry, I didn't show the PowerPoint for that part, but I use the index to find the best key for each regions. This based on the background of the event segmentation, because we think if one period come from one event, they should have a high correlation. But if two time points come from two different events, they should have a lower correlation. So one just calculate the correlation difference to check how many events in our region, and use this model to train for every region and got the results. Yeah, thank you.